Thank you, Mr Deputy President. We're now in adjournment. Mr Deputy President, Western Sydney is undergoing a revolution in smart manufacturing. Over the past few weeks, I've represented the Minister for Western Sydney, the Honourable Stuart Ayres, at a number of smart manufacturing launches in Western Sydney in my capacity as the Parliamentary Secretary for Western Sydney. I want to highlight just two very different businesses tonight that have both launched new smart manufacturing facilities in Western Sydney. The first is the Fresenius Medical Care, which recently opened their new manufacturing plant in Smithfield. The new plant produces approximately 2.4 million fluid bags every year for use in dialysis treatment. And let me just say, Mr Deputy President, that produces dialysis material that supplies all of the Australian requirement and also exports to Hong Kong and developing markets overseas. It's a great Australian company, Australian manufacturing story. During construction, the plant employed 238 Western Sydney locals to build the semi-automated plant, incorporating intelligent technology and automation in the manufacturing process. Fresenius have been able to significantly improve both production capacity and waste output, not only boosting economic growth and investment in Western Sydney, but doing so sustainably. Fresenius have recognised that operating sustainably with smart technology is not only good for the world, but good for their bottom line as well. With large water storage tanks, they've been able to reduce water wastage, and by using power more efficiently, they've been able to use less generation power, decreasing inputs and reducing some of the biggest costs involved with operating a manufacturing company. Presently, Fresenius supplies 84% of fluid bags manufactured in Smithfield to the domestic clinics and patients and export 16% to New Zealand and Hong Kong. With proximity to the under-construction Nancy Bird Walton Airport and the Moorebank Intermodal Terminal, and I might say the newly announced commencement of construction of the M12, Fresenius will be well placed to expand their manufacturing capacity and further venture into the export markets from Western Sydney. Fresenius may also be eligible to take advantage of Investment New South Wales' Going Global program, which helps New South Wales manufacture access global export markets. The New South Wales Government recognises the important role smart manufacturing will play, not only into our recovery after COVID, but in lifting New South Wales to new heights. That's why in December last year, the Premier announced the appointment of a modern manufacturing commissioner to identify local research and ideas that can be transformed into new opportunities while removing barriers to support the growth of advanced manufacturing in New South Wales and particularly Western Sydney. Mr Deputy President, operating on a very different level but no less important sector is GME, which recently opened its Zone 4 manufacturing facility at Winston Hills. Near Seven Hills. A Zone 4 facility refers to a high-security facility capable of building highly classified products and holding highly classified data. This unlocks a new market for GME to access a whole range of defence contracts. The new facility is the largest of its kind in Australia and has the high assurance capability required to build communications and electronic products to support a large range of defence industry projects as well as private customers. By employing smart manufacturing, the facility will be able to build the high-quality equipment needed to supply the Australian Defence Forces going forward. Through our careful and focused approach to managing the economy and supporting employers, the New South Wales Government is creating conditions for sustainable technological advancement and globally competitive defence industries across the state, such as GME. The important thing to note about GME and their new manufacturing is it answers the call for Australian-made manufacturing in the defence space, and it's certainly a good time to be doing that. The Indo-Pacific 2022 exposition is currently underway in Darling Harbour and is one example of this government's commitment to creating an environment that supports the development of smart manufacturing in Western Sydney. The New South Wales Government is the principal sponsor of the Indo-Pacific 2022 and is joined by GME and 30 other co-exhibitors. The Expo gives Australian manufacturers the opportunity to showcase products and technology and technological advances to industry, government, defence, scientific representatives from the Indo-Pacific region. This year, the Expo is hosting 182 delegations from 48 nations, 657 participating exhibitor companies from 22 nations, and will welcome over 21,000 attendees over the next 3 days. The Expo boasts an unparalleled concentration of defence, civil, decision-makers, prime contractors, Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers, universities and research organisations and small to medium businesses. This allows smart manufacturers like GME to network and establish relationships with key players in new markets. The New South Wales Government also supports the Modern Manufacturing Expo to be held in September this year. The Modern Manufacturing Expo showcases the future manufacturing and puts a spotlight on the incorporation of technology and information on manufacturing.